From groups number one's presentation, I was reminded that teachers need to dress professionally, whether that be slacks with a button up. And I was also reminded that there should be no social media contact with the students on the personal level. And I found out that teachers need to abide by local, state, and federal laws. For groups number two's presentation, I learned about the different acts put in place around schools. So they started off with the Every Student Succeeds Act, which established equal opportunity for all students and government funding for schools. And then they talked about Every Student Succeeds Act, which gave more power to the states to determine decisions about their education system. And finally, they talked about Common Core standards, which are currently in place, about how it shifts the focus from predetermined steps and equations and more to critical thinking and creativity. And then group number three's presentation, Smarter Balance Assessment. They talked about how assessments and instructions were made by teachers, and that the assessments are more focused on career and college readiness. And finally, they talked about how it's kind of like the Common Core standards, where it's less of following steps and predetermined equations and whatnot, and more about critical thinking and using your creativity as a student. I was part of group number four, so going over that. And then for group number five's presentation, I learned about the different assessments, that there's entry level assessments to determine how much your students know before the lesson, and then summative assessments, which is testing after a unit or section to see if they understood the material, and then formative assessment to determine how students are grasping the material during the lesson. So like checking for understanding during the lesson or asking questions. And finally, for group number six, about technology and education, they went over how technology could be used as for review. So having games such as Kahoot that has questions about the material can help the students review in a fun and entertaining way. And so they also talked about how laptops and tablets have been kind of ingrained into the curriculum, as a lot of schools have laptop carts and like Wi-Fi so that the students can work. And that not all technology is great in education. Having students on their phones during a lesson is not always the best way to take notes or having that distraction. So it's really important to determine what technology you let into your classroom and what technology you want to leave out.